One of the things that has been particularly challenging about these series of videos is to find different aspects in which to film them, just to bring the changes and to make them slightly more interesting for those of you who are watching them. Today is Good Friday, and of course the liturgy could last 3 hours. Rest assured that it will not. But in order to make it all a little more manageable, I have decided to split it into different sections. The website will contain the order of service which you can follow, and there will be a number of musical links on that. I have already recorded the reading of the Passion from St. John's Gospel, and this short video will include a reflection for this Good Friday 2020. I often make reference to the fact that when we pray, we do so not only with those who are physically present, but with Christians across the world, and indeed by virtue of the communion of saints across the ages. I have been reminded of our essential global unity this week by joining with my fellow clergy in the Diocese of Cork, Cloyne and Ross in the Church of Ireland in saying morning prayer via Zoom. They, like us, are in lockdown. They, like us, are facing the consequences of the coronavirus pandemic. And so on this Good Friday, with them, and indeed with all humanity, we stand at the foot of the cross on which Jesus gave up his life for each and every one of us. At once, both a once and for all event in history, yet a revelation of the divine truth of God's self-giving love. The cross is both an historic event, yet an eternal and universal truth. John Donne, metaphysical poet and Dean of St. Paul's in the 17th century, famously wrote these lines with which many will be familiar. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as any manner of thy friends, or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. And therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Our current restrictions prevents the literal tolling of a bell, but Donne's point is that we are inextricably bound, connected one with another, and the death of any human being is a reminder of our interconnectedness as well as of our own mortality. We are all deeply affected by our current situation. We are in it together. And every death diminishes our wider human community without in any way taking away the very personal grief and despair experienced by those who have and are losing loved ones. Jesus knew that despair on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? The opening verse of Psalm 22. This chilling verse witnesses to the complete internal breakdown, physical, mental, and perhaps most terrifyingly spiritual, in the one who is God on earth. If it makes any sense, God himself is shattered on the cross in Jesus. Yet we can say that God knows human despair. The incarnation is not some theological theory, but the affirmation that in the heart of God is the fullest and deepest empathy with the human condition. Hymn writer and Bishop Timothy Rees, a former Bishop of Llandaff, where I grew up, has written one of my favourite hymns, the second verse of which captures entirely this truth. God is love, and he enfoldeth all the world in one embrace. With unfailing grasp he holdeth every child of every race. And when human hearts are breaking under sorrow's iron rod, then they find that self-same aching deep within the heart of God. On this very particular Good Friday, when nobody is unaffected by the situation in which we find ourselves, we stand at the cross, assured that God is with us. God is love.